OK, we're going to leave Ros Childs there to bring you the Prime Minister's reaction to yesterday's asylum seeker boat tragedy.
I want to take this opportunity to thank the opposition for their very responsible approach and responsible public commentary as this matter has unfolded, and while search and rescue operations are still underway as they are today. Inevitably, there will be public debate about policies relating to asylum seekers and refugees. As I've said before, I'm all in favour of frank, open and honest national conversations about policies in this area and generally. These conversations will be had as they should be had, but these conversations are best had when they are fully informed by the facts. Whatever the debate to come about policy is, the facts are the facts. To ensure the facts are known, I have decided to invite the opposition, the Greens and the independent members of Parliament to work with the government and the relevant agencies for managing the response to this incident. Specifically, I believe it's appropriate to bring together the Ministers for Immigration and Home Affairs, that is of course Minister Chris Bowen and Minister Brendan O'Connor, together with their shadow ministerial counterparts, Mr Morrison and Mr Keenan, a representative of the Greens and a representative of the independents in the Parliament, and that these people form a standing group that receives direct reports from all of the government agencies that have been involved in this incident. That includes Defence, Customs and Border Protection, the Australian Federal Police, the Department of Immigration, amongst others. This will ensure that all have access to the same reports and insights about this very tragic incident. I believe this bipartisan reporting mechanism will assist the whole Parliament and the Australian public to understand the facts and to draw properly informed conclusions about the operational processes at work in this incident and whether in operational terms anything would be done differently should a comparable incident arise in the future. I intend this group to first meet when the immediate response to the incident has been concluded and there is no risk of resources being diverted from the urgent search and rescue and response task. I anticipate, therefore, that the group will meet before the end of the year. The group would then meet as necessary in the new year to hear further reports as more facts are established. This is an unusual step, but one I've determined to undertake because I believe it's important that the comprehensive facts are available to all. I'll now turn to Deputy Commissioner Colvin for some comments and then we'll happily take your questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Prime Minister. As the Prime Minister has already said, this is a very fluid situation and it's been conducted in what are quite difficult circumstances. Weather conditions on the island are poor, which are making it very difficult for all agencies involved in the search and rescue and the recovery efforts. From the Australian Federal Police perspective, we currently have 45 personnel on the island. We've been joined by 13 officers from the West Australia Police, which we're very grateful for, as well as 3 officers from the West Australian Coroner's Office who will be involved in the investigation. Obviously enough, this is still early days in this response and recovery. Our officers are focused today on the land-based search, and gradually over time that will transition to a focus on both the coronial investigation and the criminal investigation that the Prime Minister has mentioned. As part of that, we will need to go through the necessary disaster victim identification process. Many of you are familiar with that process. It is a difficult process and can sometimes take time, and we're in the very early stages of that at the moment. At this stage, there's not a lot more that I can say to you that the Prime Minister has not already said. As more details become available today, we'll be obviously speaking to those survivors and talking as well to eyewitnesses and getting accounts of what they saw and piecing together exactly what happened yesterday morning. Thank you.
Minister, do you have any information yet on how the boat got so close to Christmas Island without being detected?
The advice to me is that the boat approached Christmas Island when it was dark and in extreme weather conditions. and consequently the boat wasn't detected until it was seen from Christmas Island itself.
Just a question on the response time. How long did it take rescuers to arrive at the scene of the incident after they'd been alerted to the presence of the boat? You know, how long did it take you to get people, boats, resources to the scene and begin rescuing people?
Well, can I refer you to a timeline that is in the process of being released by Customs and the Border Protection Service, so that will be available to you in writing. That constitutes the best advice to me. What I can say to you of that advice provided by Customs and the Border Protection Service is that it was at 5:48 a.m. local time. Of course, Christmas Island has a 4-hour time difference from the east coast of Australia. 5:48 local time yesterday, that Border Protection Command was notified that a vessel had been sighted 200 metres from Rocky Point, Christmas Island. At approximately 6 a.m. local time, HMAS Piri was tasked to respond to that sighting. At approximately 6:31 a.m. local time, Australian Federal Police officers on Christmas Island reported sighting the vessel being washed onto the shoreline at Rocky Point, causing the people on board to be thrown into the water. And then the timeline that has been provided by Customs and Border Protection continues that at approximately 6:35 a.m. local time, HMAS Piri requested the assistance of the Customs vessel, the Triton, to respond. The Triton immediately responded. And then that the tender, that is the inflatable craft you've seen pictures of, or various craft I should say, there was more than one of them, from the HMAS Piri arrived on the scene at approximately 7:01 a.m. local time, and rescue operations commenced. So that written timeline will be available to you. It's being released by Customs and Border Protection.
And that's an hour and 13 minutes from the point at which the